Have you ever heard of the war on drugs? This refers to the punitive drug policies in most countries around the world that focus on criminalizing drug use, supply, and possession. These policies fail to accomplish what they set out to do, to end addiction, drug-related deaths and abuse of drugs in general. But why have these harsh policies failed? Punitive drug policies are rooted in scare tactics, aiming to invoke fear in people, with the hope that they will never choose to consume any drugs. Not only does this approach not work, but it fails to consider addiction caused by alcohol and prescription drugs, which can be just as dangerous and addictive as illicit drugs. Harsh drug policies have not only failed to reduce the problem of drugs, but they have actually caused new, unprecedented problems to surface. The number of drug-related deaths has risen, the number of people in prisons for drug-related offenses has risen, and there is more drug-related violence than ever before. Punitive drug policies fail to recognize that drugs will always be circulating in society regardless of the efforts to cut the supply of drugs. Alternative drug policies like the decriminalization of drugs have proven effective in countries that have been implemented, with no increase in crime and addiction. Take Portugal for example, where the possession and use of all drugs were decriminalized in 2001, and since then, drug use has remained below average in the European Union. Not only that, but they have also recorded a massive decrease in drug-related HIV and hepatitis transmission, and the number of people incarcerated for drug offenses fell by 44%. You might be asking yourself, would decriminalization not encourage further drug use? Considering the evidence from Portugal's model, it doesn't. The strategy of decriminalizing drugs certainly will not end drug use and abuse, but it is unlikely that any strategy will. Drugs will always be present in society, so it is up to governments to make sure people are as safe as possible, and get the treatment they need. The decriminalization of drugs may also increase people's connection to the health system, which will help avoid drug-related deaths and lifelong substance use, and getting rid of criminal records associated with drug possession offenses can help many people access employment and housing that had previously been denied to them because of their convictions. Decriminalization also helps reduce stigma, and drug use will be able to be talked about more openly. There is sufficient evidence suggesting that harsh drug policies fuel more violence and instability than keeping people safe. This failure of harsh drug policies has led governments to consider new ideas and alternative methods, including regulation and decriminalization. Thank you for watching our video on appropriate response action. If you would like to find out more about the DATE project, have a look at our Facebook page.